The question I'm about to ask here is a historical conundrum, if you will. So, if you're not into history, then I guess you are disqualified, or you can just stop watching or whatever. If it doesn't interest you, then that's fine. If history's not your bag, I've always been sort of an amateur historian, and the history of the 20th century is awful. It's a history of awfulness, largely. Just one thing after another, after another, after another. Maybe it has a fascination for me for that very reason. It's just like, at a time when man was supposed to be nearing his perfection, nearing the point where he transcended his baser self. Instead, we had the 20th century, and now we have the 21st century, which is no picnic either. It has been no picnic so far either, believe me. But here's what mystifies me, and this never occurred to me before. It never occurred to me to ask this before, and I've never heard anyone else ask this question before. But here's the deal: the Nazi-Soviet Nonaggression Pact was signed in 1939, and it surprised everyone and shocked many. When this pact was signed between National Socialist Germany and Soviet Russia, it was in effect an alliance. It was the promise from each side that if neither would mess with the other's territorial ambitions. So if one country invaded other countries, then if the Germans invaded a country, then the Soviets would not prevent them from taking over that country, and vice versa. If the Soviets invaded a country, the Germans would not stand in the way. And this was in effect for 2 years. For 2 whole years leading up to Operation Barbarossa, in which, with shocking ferocity, this pact was violated by Hitler when they just up and invaded Russia, and there went the Non-Aggression Pact. But here's the question that I have about this moment. It was, like I said, it shocked many people, and for people who had been inclined to be communist sympathizers or fellow travelers, or even who had followed the Soviet party line up to that point, sympathizers in the West, of whom there were many amongst the intellectual class. This proved to be a devastating thing for many. There were some who went right along with it, who went from saying, just like Orwell wrote in 1984, Oceania has always been at war with East Asia. It's never been at war with Near Asia, or whatever the other entity was. I can't remember right now, and it's not important. Just the memory hole idea that we were enemies. We were sworn enemies of this ideology. We were polar opposites before, but now we signed a non-aggression pact, and we're okay with Nazism. We're okay with fascism. We don't care. It's the capitalist, the decadent capitalist West that is our real enemy. That's what, some people went right along with that. Some people, made that mental switch, and others did not. Others could not make it. Others said, wait a minute, how could this happen? I thought we were against everything that Nazism stood for. Why are we now friends with them? What's going on here? So there was a lot of consternation about this moment on the, let's say, the communist left, or the socialist left, or the communist sympathizing left, and it led to the break that eventually gave rise to neoconservatism, because most of the people who became neoconservatives later or a lot of them were initially Trotskyite communists, and it was Trotsky's faction that had lost out in this struggle with Stalin. And when Stalin signed this non-aggression pact with Hitler, then that was like, whoa, this is the last straw. We absolutely cannot go along with this anymore. Here's my question, okay? The question is at around 6:50, so quite a ways into the video. Here's the question: why was there not any kind of similar Sturm und Drang amongst those who were National Socialists or National Socialist sympathizers? Why was there never any kind of uproar where they said in 1939, after this non-aggression pact was signed, where it was like, wait a minute, now we're friends with Bolshevism? We're friends with the Jewish Bolshevists and the Jewish Bolshevist entity that is the Soviet Union? Why did that not happen? Oh, Hitler betrayed us. Why was there never a faction that split off from the establishment National Socialist faction that signed this non-aggression pact, whereby the two totalitarian powers essentially became friends, essentially became allies, even though their ideologies were supposedly 100% opposed to one another. I'm not going to get into the horseshoe theory. I know that grates on the nerves of many around here. I'm not going to express my opinion on it one way or the other. If you don't know what the horseshoe theory is, just enter it into a search engine. But I'm just wondering why there was not an equivalent expression of disillusionment amongst those who were either Nazis or National Socialists, whatever you prefer, and Nazi sympathizers or National Socialist fellow travelers, if you will. Why was there no consternation? Why was there no Sturm und Drang? Especially considering the origin of the term Sturm und Drang, being German. Why did that not happen on the Nazi side of the Nazi-Soviet? When the Nazi-Soviet Nonaggression Pact was signed. Anyone with any ideas about this? Anyone with any thoughts about this? Again, this had never occurred to me to ask before, and it's something that it seems to never have occurred to others, because I've read a ton of history, relating to this era, and I've heard a lot about how, people were disillusioned with the Soviets and with Stalin after he became allies with Hitler effectually. But I don't hear the equivalent among those who were, allied with Hitler or thought Hitler was on the right path, doing the right things, doing the necessary things, doing the things that needed to be done in Germany. I haven't heard the equivalent kind of reaction where, why are we now allied with the Soviets, with communism, with Bolshevism, etc.? That's my question. And it's an earnest one. So have at it if you want. And thanks for watching.